Is there anyone down there that would invite me in to watch the Katie Taylor fight in Sky Sports box office? I would gladly pay the €25 fee. Thank you. And then you have several thank you emojis. You were literally begging.
Yeah, yeah. I was thinking I'm going to be in the back of Beyond, and I'm going to miss the Katie Taylor fight. But I threw out the tweet, and I did get a few replies. And fair play to the people that did offer. So I was going to take one guy up on his offer, and I jumped into the car with the lads, and I told them the story, and they said, "I'm not going to any stranger's house." F that, you know. So we got to the B&B, and fair play to Ratmore House B&B. We landed, and they said, "Look, we're after getting the fight in. Chill out here in the sitting room." They made us tea, biscuits. Perfect. It was just ideal, but yeah, worked out well in the end.
Happy days. So then you texted your serial killer friend and said, "I'm not going to be over."
I said thanks, but no thanks. Yeah. In a nice way. He's not a serial killer. I don't think so.
No, I'm sure. Well, listen. So, talk to us about this fight then. Katie Taylor against Delfine Persoon. It was hotly anticipated. Did it live up to all the hype and all the expectation around it?
Yeah, look, it was a really enjoyable fight, I have to say. All action from the first bell. Like, I'm struggling to find a male boxer with the same record as Delfine. But yeah, for Delfine to go out and put on a performance like she did the other night, she was very, very poor. Like, she must have missed more shots than she'd thrown, you know. It was absolutely horrendous. But she was in Katie's face from the first bell to the 10th. But that's all she has is aggression. She'd no game plan. She'd no plan B or plan C, and just everything went out the window. But it's still, she did cause an awful lot of havoc in the ring. You know, that uncontrolled aggression was a problem for Katie. But like, I was looking at Andy Lee had a scorecard up on Twitter there during the week, or yesterday I think it was, and he had it 4-all after the first 8 rounds, and then obviously Katie winning the last 2. I had a 4-all and Katie winning the 9th, 5-4, and Delfine probably nicking the 10th. So I called it a draw myself. But Katie is brilliant. Let's call a spade here. But for that girl, she ruins any game plan. You know, she didn't allow Katie box as well as she'd want to box. But like, there should be minor adjustments for that. You know, they should be working on Katie's power again, or power punching, to stop Delfine from smothering you. Because that's how you get respect in the ring. If you clip someone with a decent headshot or a body shot, it makes them think twice then of attacking, you know, at the same pace. But that didn't happen on Saturday night. It was just the same thing again. Delfine just coming forward in straight lines, head up in the air. Now, Katie did show this bits of class and landing some good clean shots. Like, you know, I suppose we've seen the face of her opponent, Delfine, at the end of the fight. It was destroyed. But look, it was a very entertaining fight anyway, and fair play to Katie. She got her hand raised at the end. Another cracking 10-rounder.
So you had it maybe just a draw. You mentioned Andy Lee's view of the fight. Certainly watching on Sky Sports, Adam Smith, Matthew Macklin, and then afterwards Anthony Joshua and Johnny Nelson, I think as well, all felt a draw. And even some of them, 1 or 2 of them, Persoon had done enough. It struck me as a very hard fight to even try and judge, you know, for the 3 judges, because I don't know how you balance the relentless aggression of Persoon, which is also wild and inaccurate, against what Katie's doing. I don't know. I mean, maybe that comes down to interpretation past a certain point.
At the end of the day, you know, there's 3 human beings around that ring, and they're scoring and fighting, and they're looking at something different, you know. Like, the idea of professional scoring, it's controlled aggression is what you're looking out for. And I suppose with Delfine, you know, if she was going forward, she had Katie on the back foot for almost all the 10 rounds. And she was showing aggression to a certain degree, but she was missing with so many shots. It looked real, very, very amateurish and very novice-ish, if that's even a word.
Yeah.
She was throwing bombs and missing by a country barn door, if you like. It was horrendous to watch at times. But Kate was scoring some clean shots, but still couldn't get the respect that she needed to keep Delfine off her. And that's just what brought on. Now, we've seen it kicked off early in the 3rd and 4th round where Katie got caught with a couple of hard shots. I was thinking, right, this is not going to look good for Katie now, because in the last fight, she was only hit hard in the 10th round and hurt in the 10th round. And I was thinking, this is going to be a long night for Katie. But in fairness, she kept to her game plan. She didn't mix it as much as she would like to, I'd imagine. She'd love to stand there toe-to-toe all day long, but it wouldn't do her any good because of the type of fighter Delfine is. But she boxed clever in bouts of the fights and won, you know, the early rounds, which was very, very good. But again, a hard fight to score, in fairness. I don't care who the judges were, what judges could do, but that was a hard fight to score.
Okay, so people subsequently saying it was very clear-cut win for Katie. You definitely don't quite see it as absolutely clear-cut in that way. It's a difficult fight to score.
It's a very, very hard fight to score. The fact that, you know, I suppose the way the fight went, Katie on the back foot all the time and Delfine pushing forward in every round. Like, she has a fantastic engine, but if she just got her schooling right and learned how to punch correctly and even throw out a few feints, you know, she could be a different animal altogether. But like, it looked very novice in there on Saturday night from her part. Very, very novice.
Well, her attitude seems to be just, you know, I'm going to throw enough mud at the wall here. Some of it's going to stick, and I'm just going to keep coming no matter what. And she seems to be able to do that.
Yeah, like I said, you have a look at her record. Like, she's a lot of fights, a lot of wins. But what I seen the other night, like I said, I don't know a male fighter that has that record and that fights like that.
So what should Katie have done then? You mentioned maybe throwing a few more power punches to try and put manners on Persoon. What do you think Katie was trying to do, and what would you like her to have done more of?
Like, I've said it before, she fights, you know, she throws loads of shots in bunches really, really fast. Now, she wasn't doing it that much Saturday night, which was good to see, because I know it looks good, but you're not getting the respect off your opponent. If you're just tapping your opponent and she knows that's all you're doing is tapping, she's not going to be wary of your power, and she's going to continue just to be in your face, in your face, in your face.
And sorry to interrupt, Katie, is that an amateur habit, yeah?
Yeah, well, it is. Like, she hasn't really changed much in her boxing. You know, you see it. Well, she's probably standing on her feet a bit more now. She's not up on her toes as much as she was back in the amateur days, where she was scoring and getting out of there. But it's still like, she even showed a bit of that in this fight. She was scoring some great left hooks and moving off. But just to hold her ground and throw 2 or 3 power shots and then move off and change the angle. And a bit more feinting would be required as well, because if you're fighting Delfine, because she's so wild and that, again, that amateurish kind of a style, when you feint to someone like that, they're going to attack straight away, straight off. They don't think. And once they unleash their attack, then you can counter the attack and move off. So there's loads of little tricks like that, but I didn't really see much of that on Saturday night. But look, she got the win. Don't know where she goes from here, Joe, to be honest with you, but she's won everything. I'm sure there's more big fights out there. She got well paid tonight as well, which is fantastic. It's great to see, you know, that $1 million mark being broke, especially by Katie Taylor, which is fantastic. So
yeah, it's phenomenal. You know, it's absolutely extraordinary the way she's managed to set herself up for the rest of her life, you know, with these past couple of years, and maybe another couple of fights will really elevate her into a brilliant lifestyle over the next however many years. It was very noticeable afterwards, and very notable afterwards, that Persoon, who absolutely had qualms with the Madison Square Garden fight, had no issue this time around. You know, she was absolutely effusive nearly. She was saying, this time I respect the result. For me, the weight was too much. I didn't feel like I had enough power to hurt Katie, and if you don't hurt her, it gets technical, and she's good at moving around. She says the power wasn't enough. I have no problem with the decision, and my respect she deserves. I just respect her. Katie deserved the win. So, I mean, you know, that was as clear-cut a verdict as you could hope for from Persoon this time around, certainly.
Well, if you were sitting there and you hadn't seen the fight and you listened to the post-fight interview, you'd say, well, you know, fair play to Katie Taylor. She must have punched the head off Delfine. Yeah. But if you're watching the fight and didn't hear the interview, you'd probably have a different view on it.
Yeah. Yeah, I was a bit surprised that she was so certain that she'd been beaten that badly.
Yeah. Even at the end of the fight, she didn't raise her hands, and, you know, but I don't know. But look, I was going to say something there, and it just slipped my mind. I'll come back to me in a second. Yeah. Oh, yeah, talking about the weight. Like, is she talking about coming back down to 57?
Persoon.
Or that she was? Yeah, Persoon was 57 kilos. She had issues. She had health issues, and she lost a lot of weight. She was sick for a while. Yeah. And she couldn't build back up the muscle.
She was eating and eating.
Build back the weight back to 60.
Yeah, she couldn't get her power back. She felt, even when she landed a punch, it wasn't hurting Taylor the way it was in New York the year before.
She thought about coming back down a weight then, is she?
Potentially, yeah.
Better weight, better.
It was hard to know. I presume she might think about dropping down a weight, and then she can pack more power. But
yeah, of course.
I suspect that Taylor and her people won't really be rushing towards a trilogy there. I mean, do you want to get back in the ring with that? I mean, the counterpoint is if the money is right, I'm sure. But like, gee, like it's no fun fighting Persoon for Katie Taylor, to say the least.
Definitely, it is a hard night at the office, and Katie has to be switched on for 10 rounds. I don't think Katie wants that again. I think she wants something else. She's probably going to go after the girls over in America, the Serranos, one of the Serranos, or you know, get down that avenue. I think. I don't think she needs to fight Delfine again. I think that's put to bed. Yeah. especially from Delphine's point of view. Anyway, if she's talking like that after the fight, I think she'll go down the way and try and compete at that level. So I think Katie will be all right in that sense.
Yeah. Jessica McCaskill was talked about as well. I think she was actually at the fight a rematch there from 17. That seems to be an option. Do you get the sense, Kenneth, that Katie is still very hungry to keep going? She's not thinking about wrapping this thing up anytime soon?
I think Katie's going to be her own worst enemy, Joe, to be honest with you. I heard her mention that she wants to fight till she's 40. A number of years back, So, look, I don't know. Is she just going to keep continuing on until she has no more in the tank and someone of less talent beats her? We'll have to wait and see. But at the moment, she doesn't seem to be wanting to knock it on the head yet.
Yeah.
She's won everything. She's done it all, but she still seems to be hungry for more.
I guess she probably feels, the professional career is still young and it's not easy to go out at the top, There's always another fight, there's always something else to take on, something else to do, and you definitely imagine she might have America in her sights for sure.
Yeah, I think there's a big call out there over there, big fights, Madison Square Garden again. Hopefully things will, I suppose, kick back into play, but she's not going to retire while she has all those belts. See the photo getting taken during the night there, she was drowned in them. And it looks good, it looks really good, and it's hard to give them away.
Yeah.
It's not, while you have them there, you're sitting pretty. So I think she's going to keep on fighting, keep defending those belts until she'll know herself, or maybe when some little upstart comes up and takes them off her, But at the moment, she seems invincible.
Yeah, no, she sure does. Before you go, actually, a word on last week. We had Eric on Tuesday. What was it like being in the corner? Strange atmosphere, clearly, and for, 6 rounds, things were going swimmingly.
Yeah, look, we had a plan, and funny enough, we were only talking about it during the day. I was talking to him after the fight and stuff. We said, right, Eric, this is what we want to do in here. We want Zelfa going back to his corner after 8 or 9, and his coach is saying, you have to knock him out. You have to knock him out, because obviously he wasn't going to be landing on Eric. Eric was going to give him a boxing lesson, and all Zelfa would have to do was knock Eric out, And unfortunately, that's what happened in the end.
Yeah.
But, I was great. It was a great atmosphere. We were well looked after. Eddie put on a fantastic show. He really, really took to Eric. Eric was great talking over there on the various interviews and held himself very, very well, and very grateful for being in the position he was in and where he'd come from and all those things.
Yeah.
But the fight itself was, Eric started very well. He was throwing an awful lot of punches. He was staying very, very busy. But something just twigged that, with Zelfa, he wasn't panicking.
Yes.
He understood he was losing the rounds, but he felt he was getting stronger as the fight went on, because Eric was working so much to win the rounds.
Yeah.
And he came in after the fight in the dressing room. He says, geez, Eric, you gave me a boxing lesson there. I had a punch from the gods. But he always knew he had the power there, And he was throwing bombs earlier on the fight, and they were hitting Eric's arms and his shoulders and stuff. But there was plenty of power in them, you know, and every shot was taking its toll on Eric's body, even though you weren't hitting him on the chin until the 7th and 8th round. He sat down the stool, and the first question he asked me, "You all right?" He says, "Yeah, I'm fine." But you could see he was working hard, to win every round. That's the difference, you see. It's already going in there and winning 6 rounds. I look great for 6 rounds, but it's a 10-rounder.
Yeah.
But he learned from that, and he's going to go back down to featherweight now and have a look around there. So I think Eddie's going to try and get him on their show. Hopefully down to featherweight. So that'll definitely suit him an awful lot better.
Yeah, they seem to like the cut of his jib, and hopefully it'll open a few doors.
Yeah.
So hopefully there's more fights on the way. So to round things off, because I almost feel like we didn't give Katie Taylor her credit there. Like, it's phenomenal what she has done. Close fight or not, the fact is she came through again.
It's a big risk for Kate to take that fight on again after the last time and the circumstances around it. Yeah. So for Katie there to step up to the plate there and go, okay, let's go again. She's never shied away from anything, Joe, in her whole life. Yeah. She is a warrior. She gets into the ring, and she would stand toe to toe if her coach told her to stand toe to toe. Yeah. For 10 rounds, and she'd come out looking like something of Braveheart. Wouldn't that's the way she is. Yeah. But she boxed clever during the night now in bouts. But look, she got the win. She has all those belts. She can take a rest now. She's home for a couple of weeks, and again, she is the I suppose the best female athlete this country has ever produced across any sport. Full stop.
Well, on that note, Kenneth Egan, thanks very much.
Thanks, lads.